Hey guys, today I want to talk about creativity, future of CGI, and the impact that the AI will have on our industry. Let's get started. We all want to learn technical skills. We want to learn about Unreal Engine, 3ds Max, and many other things. But there are far more important aspects, especially if you are a beginner 3D artist. The number one thing that you need to understand is that creativity is essential in our field. But the problem with creativity is its tendency to get low with age. And it's basically connected to the brain functioning. But once you age, you lose neuroplasticity and the levels of your dopamine goes down. Basically, people who experienced strong euphoric sensations during their life, and they know that it has a tendency to push the creative limits. It makes your brain and focus work on a whole another level, which is the essential parts because if you are a 3D artist, especially if you're a young artist, you need to stand out from the crowd. And if you want to stand out from the crowd, you need to do as much creative work as possible. So my number one recommendation to beginner 3D artists will be to push the limits of the work they do. Basically, if you're working like uh, 2 hours per day, you got to push your limits to work like 6 7 hours per day, because again, creativity has a tendency to go down with age, and you want to make your breakthroughs, your creative endeavors as young as possible, in a younger age as possible. The second thing that you want to do as an artist, you want to hack your biology. And I've been a 3D artist for the past 13 years. I learned many things about life, about the industry, about other things. And trust me, your physical fitness, the level of your physical fitness directly affects your brain functioning. So if you are sitting on your ass 24 hours in front of a computer, that's okay. I get it. You want to learn skills and you want to improve your skills. But the main thing that you need to do, you need to push your fitness level, your cardiovascular system. Because again, everything comes back to dopamine and your brain functioning. The better your physiological fitness level, the more dopamine your brain secretes, and more creative you get, more sharp you get. You got to be mentally sharp. That's a very important thing, especially in this age, at the age of TikTok, Instagram, Reels, etc. We all know that it affects the dopamine receptors, and basically it's going to kill your creativity. If you're 18, okay, I get it. It might not harm you too much. But once you age, especially after 25, 26, 27, you will see that your brain, it's kind of slows down. Your creativity, your sharpness kind of slows down. So number one thing that you want to do is you want to push your fitness level. You got to be cardio. You got to have a cardiovascular, very healthy system if you want to stay sharp. So dopamine is directly affecting your creativity level. That is why when you are working on your project, when you do Unreal Engine project, when you do 3ds Max, whatever it is, you need to dive deep into flow state, because flow state, you kind of get into a trance-like state when your brain works on a whole different level. That is why you need to turn off all the distractions that you have during your project. It's going to kill your brain, it's going to kill your dopamine. You don't want to do that. And dive deep, very deep, if you enjoy the thing that you are doing. If you're not enjoying, let's say, the work that you are doing, you gotta get rid of it. It will put a lot of stress on you. It will kill your creative endeavors. It will kill basically your brain, your euphoric sensations, etc. So you gotta get into a flow state if you like what you're doing. It's a paramount aspect when doing any type of CGI or any type of design creative work. The second thing that you want to do is you want to understand that life works in terms of systems. So what I mean by that, let's say if you are a very high, like top level 3D artist, you are on top of your game, what will happen to you eventually? Obviously, you will have a job for maybe for the for 10, 20 years. That's guaranteed. You will have a job, you will have a stable life, but the problem is that your end goal in that case, not the end goal, the place that you end up with will be a career. And in 21st century, career is something that I don't understand at all. Because doing the same thing for 20 years and going to work and go home and go work, it doesn't seem like a very interesting thing to do. But the problem is to go beyond that, you got to sharpen not only your professional skills as a 3D artist, but also your skills as a businessman, as a freelancer, as a creator of systems. Because skills take you so far, especially when you age. Things that might have been interesting when you were like 18, 20, 25 are not that really interesting. Once you age, once you get older, once you get wiser, if you live a proper life, you get wiser with age. You understand that life works a little bit different than you thought it works. So if in your past the reward that you get when doing a nice job was a emotional satisfaction, in older ages it's a monetary gain. And if you don't know how to monetize your skills, it will eventually kill your spirit, because every age has its level of adequacy. Basically, you got to feel adequate to your age. If you're 35 years old but you're still in the spirit of a 25-year-old, I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's a nice thing, because the wiser you get, the better you understand the life. And the life is about winning most of the time. I recommend you to read the book called A Winner Effect. That's a very serious book that you need to read to understand how the biology of human mind works. If you want to push the boundaries, if you want to push the envelope further. So as a young 3D artist, you got to make a choice where you want to end up with. You want to end up with a career, or you want to end up with a business. You want to end up with entrepreneurship. Where do you want to end up with? So that's a major question that you need to understand. If you avoid that question, it will kill you in a older age, because the more you push the serious questions that stands in front of you, the bigger it gets at the end. So don't avoid it. Ask yourself what I want to do with my life in 10 years. Now about the future of CGI and the impact that AI will have. So I've been a CEO of a AI startup for the past 2 years, and I learned a lot about AI and many other aspects of AI. And I can tell you that AI will certainly eliminate the 80% of the workforce in any industry, I guess. And I can tell you why. It's very simple to understand. Basically, prior to AI, we had computers. So computers helped us save a lot of time and automate some jobs. But they didn't have an ability to learn, to iterate on their own mistakes or on the mistakes of others. So the learning process was absent. Now in the AI, learning process is present, which means it's get better and better and better, especially when it comes to simple time-consuming tasks. Let's say 3D modeling, or doing very primitive look depth, very primitive scene setup. These things will be eliminated in the next 10 years. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think most, like 80% of the workforce will be eliminated. Basically, it will be able to do a level of mid and beginner level work in upcoming 10 years in any type of industry. That's why I want especially young 3D artists to consider, to think about the future a little bit more than they think right now. Again, systems win. Skills, I don't think skills win on a long term. I know that there is a serious resistance towards the AI in the field, which I had as well in the beginning, but the genie is out of the bottle right now and there's no way to get him back. So resisting is not an option. You got to adapt to the new environment. So the 3D artists that will learn and adapt to new AI tools will win. The ones that will resist, they will die eventually. They will get out of the field very, very fast. Okay, guys, so this is what I wanted to talk about today. I think these types of conversations are much more important than technical stuff. So if you have any questions, leave comments below. Thank you very much.